in terms of losing weight, is it a case, like, for example, if you worked it out that you were, say, using like about 4,000, expending about 4,000 a day, would you be kind of looking at about to eat maybe around 3,500 for like a sensible weight loss?
Yeah, 500, well, 3,500 calories equates to about a pound a week. So if you were to have a 500 calorie deficit every day, you'd be looking to lose around a pound a week, and that's recommended. It's a conservative weight loss. The problem is if you go kind of too hard, and if you do it for too long, you can actually damage your metabolism, and your metabolism will slow down. Right. So if you're restricting food,
is that I remember, was it from a book or maybe a podcast I listened to, and it was saying how important it is to have cheat days when you are dieting, because if you eat 500 calories less every day after maybe a week or two, your body goes into thinks that there's a problem with food and goes in closes itself down and goes into starvation mode. Exactly. So you need to trigger it back.
Yeah.
So it is actually, even if you're trying to lose weight, having 1 day a week of going way over.
When you look at our evolutionary biology, we've not really made that. Well, it takes about 100,000 years to make an evolutionary progression in terms of our kind of genome. So we're kind of wired as we were 100,000 years ago. So back then, now we've got an abundance of food, which is why we're amidst an obesity epidemic. But back then there weren't a lot of food. So if food was scarce, then for sure your metabolism would reduce as a survival mechanism. If there's no food and your metabolic rate is high, then you're going to die 100,000 years ago.
To be honest, I'm the biggest stickler for that, because I call myself Fat Dom at the moment. So it's when I'm working through the winter, I can easily get to 14 stone.
Yeah.
And that is through living what I call a loving, great life. You know what I mean? That is drinking obscene amount of Guinness, eating kebabs, anything off the floor, I'm eating it. I'm that kind of bloke. In total full survival mode, just to survive in the woods. But then
comes to the classic tea.
No, but honestly, it is
giving away 2 seconds a lap.
Well, no, that's it though. It was a case of when I signed up for the Davies team, it was the first thing they said, because I was alright porgy, 14 clem, and it was can you lose the weight? And I went, yeah, I'll give it a go. And I was doing probably the work, after what you two were saying, every season since 2018, I go from 14 stone to 11 and a half. And that is literally no cheat days, I literally put the biscuits down, stop drinking pop, miserable for months. Miserable, mate. But I literally just crash diet. Yeah. But then you can imagine, it's just the end of season, it's like a go button.
Yeah.
Go have fun again, and really, in your professional term, am I going to die 10 years younger?
No, not at all. It definitely increases your performance, and obviously influences your metabolism as well. Because when you crash dieting like that, unless you have kind of refeed days like you mentioned, Chrissy, having the odd day where you'd increase your calories to at least maintenance or possibly a surplus, your metabolism will slow, and the rate at which you're losing weight will slow to reflect the reduction in your metabolism. And then once you start eating normally, you'll put weight on dead easy, because, even if you were to eat, let's say, maintenance calories for that weight, because your metabolic rate would have slowed down in reflection to the amount of calories you were putting in, that would no longer be maintenance for you. So you'd end up putting weight on quite quickly.
And speaking of me putting weight on, so you are 2,000, what was it, your resting rate today?
2,500, I think.
2,500.
Yeah.
What was mine?
1900.
1900. Bear in mind, I have a very, very active job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
it's a good job you do.
That's exactly it. It just shows how much bother I can get myself into. It's just
if you switch trades, you'd be screwed.
Well, I've got a digger job on Monday, so I'm going to palm that off and just run to work or something like that. It's just ridiculous. But it just shows the comparisons and how everyone, I know it's two people sitting next to each other with both raised bikes, but how different that is.
And there's only kind of an inch separating you in height.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up. We were in a dark room for a few hours,
more than a few inches than last time we checked out.
Oh god, we're not. How dare you?
Sorry, I'm
ladies dig the girth. I've got more girth than you, son.
An inch around.
Yeah, where do we go from here? You tell us.
And not too dissimilar in terms of weight. So yeah, statistically, to look at you both, you'd probably peg you, within 100 or so calories of one another for your resting metabolic rate. But yeah, as you can see, massively different. So
And does that tend to be a genetic thing?
yeah, it is largely genetic. You can work on improving your metabolic rate. For example, if you were to increase your lean mass, your metabolism would probably increase because muscle's metabolically active tissue, so it requires more energy to to work basically.